You are at your first casting. In front of you, a queue of 37 girls. You will be here for some time. Smartphones do not exist yet, and so you must delve into your bag and find your own entertainment. There, your Walkman, and the audiobook of How Not to Be a Supermodel by Ruth Crilly. Rewind it to the start, press play, and bring your attention to the words. The real journey is about to begin. To Mum, apologies in advance. Preface. Very little about my childhood pointed to a future in supermodelling. Yes, I was probably slightly taller than average, and I was slender, but there was nothing unusual about being slender if you were a child of the 80s. It was difficult to build up much timber when you were forced to spend all of your days outside, as we were, trying not to drown in disused quarries or electrocute ourselves with kites on electricity pylons, or fall prey to any one of the many and varied deaths we were warned about on public service announcements. The rest of the time we spent running away from stray dogs and throwing stones at the trenchcoat-wearing perverts who hid in the bushes. Being a child of the 80s was, all in all, a high-intensity workout. So I was tallish and I was slenderish, and I had apparently inherited the natural good looks of my parents. My dad was quite ruggedly handsome, and my mum, she wouldn't mind me saying, was just utterly gorgeous. But I wasn't, by any stretch of the imagination, physically remarkable. If anything, I'd have said that I was physically subpar, so terrible at ballet that it was suggested I cease and desist with the lessons, so inflexible of body that attending gymnastics required a special waiver to be signed so that nobody could be sued if I snapped in half whilst doing a bridge. I lacked any sort of coordination or physical grace and was pretty inept at sports, and so by the age of 8 or 9, I felt that the universe had, along with all the other kids who helped out in the library for fun and had to wear special glasses for their lazy eye problems, firmly placed me in the academic camp. I was an enthusiastic reader and a keen writer, and I was good at music and I had great imagination, all fine qualities for a kid, but none of them pointed towards a glittering career on the catwalk. It wasn't as though I was practising my runway strut in the playground or brushing my hair 100 times before bed. Even at 17, suddenly equipped with the worryingly lithe, full-breasted body of Wet Dreams and the liberal fashion sense of a Hooters waitress, the idea of actually becoming a model didn't occur to me. My room was wallpapered with torn-out magazine adverts for jeans and perfumes and Calvin Klein underwear. And I certainly daydreamed about being a supermodel, but I never thought of it as a realistic option. We lived on an ordinary housing estate in Redditch, Worcestershire, and the fashion world, the catwalk shows, the models, they belonged to a galaxy far, far away. Modelling, let alone supermodelling, was simply never on the cards. It was as unlikely and unreachable an idea as becoming an astronaut. But then, all of a sudden, Houston, we have a problem. The unimaginable became a distinct possibility. Modelling became a reality and, because I can never do things by halves, supermodelling became my slightly unhinged and over-ambitious goal. This book, this memoir of sorts, documents my pursuit of this wildly unrealistic dream. It's a catalogue of clanging errors. It's the opposite of an instruction manual. It is, and perhaps a void if you're solely looking for inspiration and motivation, a lesson in how not to reach the top, especially if you're looking to have a stab at a career in modelling in the early noughties. Yes, we're going to time travel too, back to the noughties, a time we frown upon for being rife with unattainable beauty standards, horrendous body image issues, and deeply rooted misogynistic viewpoints. A time before smartphones and face-altering photo filters, before lip fillers for 20-year-olds and skincare for babies. Bad old noughties, naughty noughties. Aren't things better now? We're going to peer through the thick fog of fag smoke that shrouded the modelling industry and take a look at what really went on behind the glitz and the glamour. If, indeed, there was ever any glitz and glamour. But look, this isn't an exposé. Terrible things didn't happen to me during my time as a model, and I like to think that I came away from my 12-ish years in the industry relatively unscathed. Apart from a deep-seated fear of gaining weight and a hypercritical eye for my own perceived physical imperfections, I'd say that I'm completely normal and unaffected. Everybody weighs their breakfast granola to the nearest gram, surely. No, there have been...
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.